crafty friends, JENNCASCELL here. I am back with another design team project share and tutorial for Scrap Diva Designs. Before we get started, here is her website and all of the info on the back. Make sure to use that hashtag Scrap Diva Designs for some amazing inspiration. And as always, if I've inspired you in any way, please feel free to use coupon code GEN10 to save 10% at the shop. No cost to you. I do get a small kickback, and it helps me continue to create free content for you guys. So let's dive in. This box you may have seen during my November release video. I did it with Paige's Sugar Plum Wishes collection. So cute. Of course, this is the Candy Cane mini album die set, or the Heart Candy Cane mini album die set. Absolutely loved this. Turned it into a box. I'm going to show you how to do it. This is actually the one that we are making today. Completely different vibe. So cute though. This one I used crepe paper Holly Jolly holiday on there. And I did some really fun hand stitching, um, cute little floral clusters. Really, really cute. Here's the interior of this one. I love this collection. I've been kind of staying away from crepe paper for some reason, and this collection made me fall back in love with it. But really, really cute. So if you are interested in seeing how I did this, stay tuned. All right, so let's talk about the components, what you need to make the box. We have the Heart Mini album here, and I have die cut. So you get 2 each of the candy canes. So you have one that goes left hook and then a right hook. And then those have an overlay as well. I've cut both of those, and I added some highlights with, I use a paint, like a acrylic marker for this. I use the Oohoo brand. I think it shows up really nicely even on light colored cardstock. You're going to want 2 of this outer heart, like the largest of the 2. I've cut it out of pretty heavyweight cardstock. This is basil. It's lava is the color. And then you're also going to want this stitched layering piece right here. And I've cut that 4 times. So I've cut it out of the red lava, and then I've cut it 3 times in pattern paper. I am using Holly Jolly Holidays from Crepe Paper. So you can go ahead and adhere your cover. So this is going to be the cover of my box, and I am going to have this as my overlay. On this one, I did this floral paper, as you can see. So I just used some Barely Art glue for this. You can go ahead, set it aside, let it cure. You are also going to need, I use the box making strips for this, and I use the largest of the tall dies, and you want 2 of these. So this is going to measure 3 inches, but it's a 2.5 inch strip. I have cut it at 1.5. So you have 1.5 at the top and then 1 inch here. And I'll go through that with you. Let me just get my paper trimmer out. When I line this up, you're going to want to make sure that you're lining it up at this score line that's already built into the die set. So I'm going to line that up at 1.5 inches. Make sure that everything is nice and straight. If this is not straight, your box is not going to work. So I'm really applying pressure at the top to make sure that my paper does not shift. So you should have this and this. Double check with your other piece just to make sure that they're the exact same size. So I went ahead and applied my pattern paper to my other of the largest dies. This is going to be the interior of my box. It's actually going to lay like this. I've also glued together the 1 inch strips, and I've added a 7/8 of an inch backing to it. This is optional. I did not do it on my first one, but it was something that I wanted to try this time around. You're going to want to curve your paper. So I'm concentrating right in this area right here where the 2 pages meet. and I'm really giving that a good curl. And I am actually going to start this right in the center here. So flip it over, and I'm going to apply glue to my 3 middle tabs on either side of that seam. And go ahead and grab that right into the center. I'm gonna flip it over and use my bone folder. From here, I'm gonna do quite a few tabs. It's a pretty easy curve to get around, so I'm gonna bring it down quite a bit. If it was a tighter curve, I would probably take my time and do each individual tab. But when I have an easy curve like this, I don't mind doing a few tabs at once. Now I'm going to do a few more tabs on this side, and then I'm going to switch over to the other side before I finish off in the center at the bottom. All right, so I went ahead and I added glue to the other side, and I'm just bringing it around that curve, placing it on my desktop, and just making sure that all of those tabs are down. All right, so on the second to last tab, I am going to just do a tiny little slit right there, and I'm gonna fold up at that slit. Make sure that everything is nice and straight. You want to line up these edges. That'll make sure that your box is even. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and curve my paper just a little bit more. And then you can take your scissors and just cut off those last 3 tabs on the other side. Add some glue to all of the remaining tabs. And I'm also going to add a little glue on this outer tab as well. Now, where you hit that slit in your paper is right at that junction where it meets. So work on that first. Make sure that everything is in the right spot, and then you can go ahead and add and start doing this side right here. And this should give you a really nice start to your box. Flip it over, make sure that everything is glued down nice and tight. If it's not, go in with just a bit more glue. Now I have a couple more 7/8 inch straps that I'm using for the exterior of my box. And I'm gonna go ahead and curl those. Notice that I'm not really paying too much attention to the one end. That's gonna be on a straight portion, and if it's not, we can take care of it later. So grab your glue. So once again, I'm starting right at that curve. Try to center that on as best you can and just start pinching. Using my nail to kind of pinch that in there. I'm really taking my time in this area here. You want that to be nice and tight. Let's go ahead and add some glue right here, and then starting again at the top. Just make sure that everything is nice and straight for this. I'm going to allow for a little overlay. Just finish adding some glue. Once we have our pattern paper on, I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to my top layer here. So I did go pretty heavy on this, especially around these edges. And then you're going to go ahead and just pop it on top to cover up those tabs. All right, so we're going to start working on the bottom of our box. I'm taking this stitched pattern paper layer. This is going to be what you see when you open the box. And I've already put together my 2 of the 1.5 inch strips. I've covered them with pattern paper. I did the outside this time, no particular reason. You may be asking yourself, why am I not just doing all 3 layers at once? Well, it just makes your paper that much harder to work with. So it's easier to work with the 2 layers and then just add that third. So once again, I've added glue to these middle tabs, and I am just making sure that sits dead center and really pressing those down. And just like I did with the last one, I am going to do a bunch of tabs all at once. And you want to make sure that this is nice and tight to all of your tabs. It's very important to ensure that you have no gaps in this layer. You want this really, really tight to this pattern paper layer. Otherwise, your box is not going to open and close properly. All right, so this time, instead of cutting the tab, I am just going to go ahead and fold right at that second tab and go ahead and add glue to all of these remaining tabs on this side. Make sure that that fold really hits that center and press those tabs down. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut it off the last 3 tabs on that. I'm going to cut off this last tab. Add glue to those tabs, and then you can go ahead and add glue. I am going to put it right here and tuck that tab inward. Okay, so we have our base. Now we can go in with our next pattern paper layer. And once again, I'm going to curve that paper, but I'm going to curve it inward this time. And this time, you know what? I'm actually going to fold it. I'm going to fold this so that I don't have to work on a corner. I didn't want to have to work on that edge, so I'll be able to cover that right up with some paper. And then once again, just start pressing that paper into the side. You really want to make sure that that is straight. Use your fingers to kind of pinch at the bottom there. Okay, so got the bottom and the top. Fits really nicely in there. All right, so you can go ahead and flip it over and apply that bottom layer that's going to cover up those tabs, give you a nice clean edge. All right, so we have our base. Let's go ahead and add the top of our box. Super, super cute. Love it. Love, love, love. Absolutely adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate this, and I will be right back. So for the cover, I ended up doing the Jolly Vibes and hand stitching it. This is a Cricut file that I created. And then I did one of the Scrap Diva poinsettias over here, along with some snowflakes and peppermints. We have some of those mini holly leaves in here, some greenery sprigs that I did with a white glitter cardstock. I love how this turned out. So good. So much volume. Really, really cute. And you know, this box is generously sized too. Perfect for some cookies or chocolates during the holiday season. You could even do a couple like mini Bath and Body Works or something in there and then add a gift card right on top. I am like the queen of handmade holidays. I love giving handmade gifts. I'm always looking for like cute little boxes and stuff to put it in, and this definitely fits the bill. So let's take one last look at my first one. So fun, completely different feel. Love how they turned out though. So thank you again for watching, and of course, here is the site and info. If I've inspired you in any way, feel free to use coupon code JEN10 to save. I super, super appreciate it. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more crafty content. I'll see you in the next crafty video. Bye!